Hey everybody, it's Kim from It Again Bookstore, and today I'm with Sandy Joy Weston. Hey Sandy, how's it going?
Good, Kim. This is exciting. I love your bookstore background.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so you have two books out. What are the titles?
Train Your Head and Your Body Will Follow.
Mm-hmm.
And then just recently, I came out with my 30-day reset journal.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little different today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Ooh, I know. You're telling me that. I was like, I've never introduced myself. Well, I've been an entrepreneur my entire life in the health and fitness business.
Should I pull up your bio and double check what you're saying as you say it, just to make sure you've got it right?
I don't even know if I read what they sent you, but here's the deal.
Okay.
I love what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do. I feel so blessed. I was a dance major and it took me into health and fitness. I've owned health clubs my whole life. And from that, a lot of people had said to me, you know what, Sandy, you really should write books. And that's when I started about 6-7 years ago to go, I'm going to try this thing. But it took me a long time, but I love what I do. So it was like, I'm going to figure out how to put it all together in one place. So that happened. And besides that, I do a lot of presentations and speaking engagements. I love going out and touching people's lives in any way possible that's going to spread joy. It doesn't matter if it's mental or physical. I just love it. I love my family. I like my friends. I love being a mom. And I totally love trees and animals.
So, and I read in here that you worked for NBC.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I did that. So...
See, I was going to test you.
No, I was very fortunate where one of my health clubs was located. A lot of the news stations and radio stations were right across the street. And they one day said, hey, we're short a segment. Would you like to go on? I'm like, sure. And I went on and did fitness tips. And from that, it ended up, I was on for about, 7 years live. It was so much fun. Yeah. And then they would bring me back and forth for the next 3. Lots of fun. Great time. I was very fortunate.
So what would you do? You would use fitness tips? You'd interview people?
Both. So they'd come on, let's say they would pick something like mountain biking. And I would come on with a guest that was an expert in mountain biking. And then they would give tips for the beginner, the intermediate. And a lot of times they'd use me as the guinea pig. So sometimes I knew how to do it, but there are other times where I didn't know how to do it. Like, let me think, windsurfing. That was fun. I mean, I went up and they had me windsurfing and I didn't know what to do my fault. So it was a good way for people to see you don't always have to be great at everything, but to try things that are new. And my big thing is fitness should not be boring. Fitness should not be difficult. Fitness should not be, I hate it. There's so many ways to have fun and enjoy it. And you should pick something you love.
I remember I'm a big skier and I tried snowboarding one year, and it was the year we took our kids skiing and they just kept giving up. Like, they kept giving up. And I snowboarding was hard, but man, I was determined they weren't going to see me. Like, they were going to see me fail and they were going to see me get up and climb back up the mountain and fail again. Yeah. If my kids hadn't been there, I would have been like, okay, I'm done. But no, I was determined because my kids were watching.
You know what? And here's the thing. When I say it shouldn't be hard, I mean, it doesn't mean things don't take time and they're not hard work. But you better love it first. Like, if you're not passionate about it, find a different thing. Then pick up dancing. Like, there's a different way to do fitness. And I just want to bring a smile to your face so that when you do get exhausted and the days that you don't want to do it, you're like, all right, once I get started, it won't be so bad. Like taking walks, right?
Yeah. Okay. Tell us about your books.
Okay. So first of all, my first book took me about 6 years to write because I was trying to find a way to get the big thought out. This is the big thought. This is my secret sauce. I'm just going to say it right away, that it only takes 1 to 3 minutes a day to change your life and your body in a positive way. And I know that's the second point, but that was the whole reason for the book. I truly believe, Kim, shadow of a doubt, that how you start your morning and how you start your day, it really matters. That 1 to 3 minutes doesn't have to be long, but how you start your day, what you do to get your head in the game, it's really, really important. So this long journey I took was not just for me and how I train my clients. I knew that the reason I was successful with all my clients was because I was able to get inside their head, and I knew what motivated them, and I knew what made them tick. And if I could do that, I could get results. So that was great. But the second thing was I wanted to interview, I think I interviewed about 200 people, and see those people that innately exuded joy. Do you know those people like that you meet and you think, I want to be around them more? Not because they're a CEO, mom, dad, whatever. You just exuded joy. So I wanted to interview people, and I did. Took about a year to 2 years, and see what made them tick and why they exuded joy. And if there was something that I could give to the world and something that could be translated. In addition to that, because I wanted to make sure the book really had an impact, I met with every thought leader you could think of, like exercise physiologist, sports psychologist, neurologist, nutritionist, gurus. I wanted to say, listen, I have this theory that if you take time to write it down and look at your goals, it doesn't have to be long, that it's going to make a huge difference in people's lives. And so they were like, Sandy, you're onto something. So the book was about that. Like, it was about the evidence that I found of what created joy for others, and that it could just take 1 to 3 minutes a day if you use the journal, if you know, and how you start your day. And also that there was, a method to my madness. Now, what happened, Kim, with all this going on, at first, it wasn't 1 minute to 3 minutes a day. I set out to say 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes sounds reasonable. Take 5 minutes a day. Do the journal that I created. There were little prompts and a game plan and power statements. It's going to change your life. Just even try it for 30 days. And I tried this with different people for a year. And guess what happened? Only 1 or 2 people did it. They didn't do it. So I went back. I was in tears. I went to my professors. I'm like, what's going on here? You said this works. You all said you agreed with me that this is going to really kick people in high gear. And my one professor said to me, well, Sandy, you missed something. I go, what? You ask people to do something and create a habit they're not used to. Even though it's going to change their life, no one's going to do that for 5 minutes. I go, well, why didn't you tell me that? I spent over a year, and they said you had to find it out yourself. And I came back, and then I created something that would take 1 to 3 minutes, and then it worked. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole point of the book. Like, the book has little stories in it and my mentors and why I did it. But the whole point of it was to get people to start their day that way. And what I said at the beginning is, what was the secret sauce of all those people that exuded joy? Well, here was the deal. Every single one of them, Kim, every single one of them did something to get their head in that space every morning, whether it took a minute or 2 or took 2 hours. And it didn't matter if they played jazz music, wrote in their journal, made muffins, worked out, meditated. Every single one of them decided how they were going to start their day and how they were going to show up. So that's the whole idea of the book.
We got a question. How long should you journal? How much per day?
How much per day? Okay. So thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
Okay. So the 1 to 3 minutes, if you have prompts like this book, or you do it on your own, is really what you need to get yourself in the game. But that being said, I'm also a big component of free journaling, which means the thoughts in your head, just get them down. I call it scribble scrabble. So this is going to keep you 1 to 3 minutes, is keep you on target to make sure that you look at what's your goal, what your action plan is. But just having something separate where you just randomly write what you're thinking, there's nothing better. And that could be different every single day. It really clears all that clutter and negative stuff going on up there.
Oh, I love that.
Thanks, Jamie. That's a great question.
Let's see who else. Oh, who are your inspirations for your book?
I am really fortunate, Kim. I have so many people that I get my heart starts pounding right now. I'm not kidding you, that looked out for me. They took me under the wing. Some names you know and some names you don't know. But the names that I know will resonate with some people, Ed Snyder, who passed away recently, who was the owner of the Flyers, he taught me so much about what it meant to be a strong leader and believing in yourself. And Pat Croce, Shout out to him, an amazing, amazing human being, and just would constantly cheerlead me. Sandy, stop doubting yourself. Work at it. You're going to get there. And the only thing he would say to me, you need focus. You need focus. And he would make me box. I remember making me box so I'd keep focus. He was a big inspiration, as well as people that you wouldn't know, like the Marys and the Darces and the Stacys and the Carols. These people that just, no matter what was going on in life, they just seemed to always be there for me and support me. And there were people in my life that, I don't know, how can I say this in a nice way? When nobody knew how I was, would treat me a certain way. But then there were these amazing people, my mentors, that never they never treated me any differently than anybody else. Do you know what I mean? And when they would have parties or get-togethers, they would have me there with all the well-to-do people. And I remembered them the most. Do you know what I mean? Like, they meant so much to me. As well as, by the way, Patty LaBelle was one of my first clients, and she would try to bribe me. She hated working out. She would try to bribe me with muffins. Then we found the pool, so she loved swinging a pole. And so there's always something for everybody. But I think I was just so blessed to have the right people in my life. And they used to call me Philly's favorite daughter because, I don't know, I have a million mentors that wanted to do something for me. It's crazy. Like,
go ahead. Yeah.
No, it's just, do you got that feeling? Like, don't you think it's good to have mentors?
It sounds like you're very blessed to be surrounded by such amazing people.
Yeah. And people that maybe on the front lines, they're like, they're not sure about, but I'm thinking, no, you don't really know them. Don't believe everything that you read in the press about them, because they had the biggest and kindest hearts I could ever imagine. And there's so many.
The right place at the right time too.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So there's something I'm supposed to ask you. And what is the game plan and power statement?
Can I show you?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. It'll be so much easier. Okay. I hope they see this, and you tell me I know, because we were talking about mirrors and not. Do you see that? Okay.
I'm going to get close to the screen. It says goal, action, motivation, and what's the bottom one?
Energy.
Yeah.
So the game plan, you're probably like, wow, who came up with that acronym? But it seems so obvious. I think you should write down right now, if you have a piece of paper, what is my 30-day game plan? Okay. Everyone should do this. It doesn't matter if it's for physical and anything in life. What is my 30-day game plan? And when you think about your goal, it could be in any area of your life. It doesn't have to be fitness. It could be meeting someone, buying a new home, getting a new job, starting a podcast, whatever you want to do. I want you to think of something slightly out of your reach, just slightly. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be like, okay, I was a couch potato, now I'm going to work out an hour. Just slightly out of your reach. Or like I said, maybe you want to write a book. Don't let anybody, you don't have to share this with anyone, because we don't want the naysayers. Forget them. Then you want to put down the action. What action are you willing to do in a week and daily? And be very honest with yourself, right? Because you might say hey, I want to have this rockin' dream body and I want to have ripped abs. But really, are you going to put in the work? Because that's a lot of work, it's going on there. So you want to think about the action you're willing to take. Or do you want to start a podcast? You have to be willing. It's not always going to go well, to put yourself out there, trial and error, and just get it done.
A YouTube channel.
And woohoo! That's right. You started a YouTube channel. That's scary, because you're out live and you never know what's going to happen. But you have to be okay with that. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't work out perfectly the first time. People get it. They love authenticity.
For example, when we were starting this, we had trouble because this is the way this is filmed. It's filmed the correct way. So we look at her hair and it's not on the same side that we expected.
Oh my God. I had to close my eyes. It was so weird.
We're both doing this before we started.
No, wait. But it's true. I cannot tell you. I do a lot of live events and from people around the world, and they say, oh yeah, I know how to do it. But then they go, I've never used Instagram, or I thought you could use it on my computer, and I'm live. And you're like, but you just put yourself out there. So that's what I mean as far as the goal. And then what action are you willing to take? Next thing, and this is the big thing, the motivation. And that's really what all the powers to be thought was the secret sauce, especially Dr. Peggy Kern from the Positive Psychology Department at the University of Pennsylvania. What motivates you for that goal, not because somebody else wants you to have that goal. That's what's going to get you out of bed. That's on the days where you don't feel like doing it is really going to just kick you in the butt. Why do you really want this? Be honest. Some people said, I got divorced, so I want to look hot and get back. And I'm like, okay. I want to be able to chase my grandchildren around. I want to feel healthy. You know what I mean? Whatever it really is, you got to be honest with yourself about why you want this.
I want to fit into my pre-COVID pants.
Okay, so right there you go. I want to tell you something, Kim. This is a secret, everybody. Yeah. Do you know how many people, even though they work out, from here on down, they let it go because you can't see it from the waist on down, right? So
you're trapped in your home, and you have to do the extra step to go work out because you can't go to the gym.
Yeah. And some places you can, but most people do, and the weather's not always permitting. But don't you worry, we have a lot of fun workouts you can do in your house. Just even 5 minutes makes a huge difference, but that's a whole nother thing. So you have to think of, why do I really want this? Well, I want to feel good in my clothes. I want to be able to feel good when I walk out, whatever it is. And when talking about things that you can do, you have to switch gears on what you did do to feel healthy and were able to do and what you can do at home. The next thing is the energy level you're going to put into it. Some people want to, say, I'm going to put 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to go all in, but it's not true. They're not going to go all out for this. So,
and then you lose your momentum.
Yeah. So, and then you could rate it every day on a scale of 1 to 10, getting closer to your goal. I gave it a 5. I gave it a 6. You can't always be at a 10, right? Now your next statement, and I think this is the biggest one, and I don't even know if we need to see this, the power statement. This is massive. Your power statement is something that really you can tune into. People call them affirmations, but this is, I call it more of a power statement. It has to be personal to you. It can't be my power statement. It has to resonate with you. And when you feel it from your heart, it's going to go all over your body and remind you of why you want what you want. So let's say you want to get back into those pants, right? You might say, I eat and move to look and feel good. That might work for you. I love feeling great in my clothes. I love the way I look in my clothes. I always choose healthy food, or I'm going to feed my body and soul. You have to pick a power statement that's going to, for example, let's say you want to meet someone. I love having this awesome person in my life. So whatever it is, it's got to resonate with you.
Here's mine. Give it a second.
Okay. Okay. I had tear in my mouth. You met me. All right. Now, wait a minute. And I'm so, Kim, that's perfect. You ready this? Because that is one of your action things. But when you think about it, it has to make you feel awesome about yourself. So you might have to say something like, I eat food that makes me feel great. I eat food that feeds my body and soul. I eat food that makes me feel healthy. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
Because putting down the sugar is like a side thing,
Elizabeth, I want you to be a professional chess player too.
What does that mean? I want to be a professional chess player. Awesome. So, Elizabeth Moore, I want to be a professional chess player. So that is your goal, right? I want to be a professional chess player. So what would your power statement be? I love playing, and winning. I love playing games. I love, you know what I mean? Like, think about, I love every day the challenge of the game. I love learning new things. That's the difference between a goal and a power statement. But I love that because that was a different one that had nothing to do about the body, right?
Do you ever do power stances? You know, like you stand in front of the mirror with your hands on your hips?
First of all, I'm all about how you sit down. And I do this all the time. I'm going to show you. Here, I have my little angel.
Yes.
Okay. This is the power stance. Ta-da! That's like if you do this, all of a sudden you feel, there isn't anything I can't do. Come on, universe, bring it on, you know?
I heard if you stand in front of the mirror in a power stance for like a few minutes every day, you will feel more confident.
Absolutely.
More empowered. Yeah.
And then if you add in some sayings like, I love me no matter what, I'm awesome, I'm incredible. Some people have trouble saying that. They, believe it or not, if you give yourself a mirror, and I did this with 150, I'll never forget it, fitness people. So they were rocking, young, fit people. And I said, look in the mirror and just say, I love myself just because. Not because I'm fit, not because I'm a great mom, not because I'm a great dad. I'd say only 10% could do it. They start crying because they didn't feel that way. They felt they had to look a certain way to be loved. They had to work out this way. They had to do this. And that was life-changing for me. I think that was like, oh my God, it must have been 25 years ago. And I realized just because people in that profession may look a certain way, they put stipulations on it. It doesn't mean they love themselves from the inside out. And I changed my whole way of doing workshops. And for fitness people, I didn't assume that anymore because that was eye-opening.
So when COVID's not happening, you do workshops? Like, that sounds, how's that work?
All right. So I still do them now because I do a lot. It's been hard for me because I went kicking and screaming, Kim. I love touching people. I love hugging people. But I realized social media, you can reach so many people. But I've learned to bob and weave and do speaking engagements online and workshops online. When we get back, and we will soon, it's great to do workshops and be able to sit there and go through the book and break it down like week to week to week. Not that I don't do clients virtually, because I do have clients. I have 6-week programs and I call it, they graduated, and we'll do mental and physical components of the book. Sometimes it's more physical, sometimes it's more mental. I've even learned to train people virtually, Kim. Like, it's fun. We put on the music and we go for it.
So I put Sandy's website here in the comments. And if you guys are interested in doing one of her workshops or becoming one of her clients, I'm pretty sure you can find the information on your website, right?
Everything.
Perfect.
Yeah, everything. You know what I want? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you about your podcast.
Oh, wow. I am multifaceted. I keep forgetting all the stuff I do. I have podcasts. One is called Let's Keep It Real. And I've been doing that. I actually hit my 100th episode 2 months ago. And this is where I highlight people from around the world. Doesn't matter, male or female. And we talk about their journey and all the great things they're doing in the world. And I love it so much. The people I meet and the things they're doing to impact the world in a positive way. Awesome. And then I have a podcast that's called Positive Power Lady. And that's just for my gals. And that's a shorter podcast, and for 20 or 30 minutes, and we highlight something the women are doing. And this is crazy. Just recently, because I need to do a lot, and I'm figuring things to do virtually, I started a live on Instagram, but I also post it everywhere for women, only 15 minutes to 20 minutes. And it's called, Hey, I Got Something to Say. And we bring on a woman, and she talks about that one thing she wants to get out. And then we go through tips just to help women throughout the world. And I can't believe I started only a couple of weeks ago, Kim, and I'm already booked all the way through April with women.
That's awesome.
We have a lot to say, you know, but you know what? Here's the big thing. And I don't know why this is, but most of the women coming on, no matter what they're talking about, they really want to inspire themselves and others to see the true power within them and not doubting their ability. Many of them, and we all have it at times, they think, oh, there's so many books, there's so many podcasts, other people are better, they're prettier, they're this, blah, 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 all that negative yuck, yuck, yuck. So they're coming out to say, stop it. You know what I mean? No more, no more. believe in yourself. Every day, practice things to get your head in that right space, so that you do come out guns blazing and believing in who you are in that strong, powerful way. Because when you do it, how many people else do you impact? So many.
So what are you working on now?
Wow.
Well,
I am working on something else. I forgot about that. I am working on, because I want to impact, just keep in mind, men, women, children, all ages. So I'm working on a series for a podcast and a TV show called Recess with Sandy. And it's for kids ages 6 to 12 and their moms and dads. And we're going to be doing fun little segments that go from movement to writing to crafts. So we have a segment that's called Cozy Spot, which is great. That's where we do our meditation. We have a segment for kids called Scribble Scrabble. And that's where kids, we journal, we draw stick figures. We also have Express Ourselves and, hey, I got something to say, and just move it. And I'm having a lot of fun. I probably got a little bit more work to do, so I'm going to think it's going to be out in February. But I got some great people behind me.
So yeah, here, go to Sandy's website. It's right there. You should all go.
Is there anything else you think I should be doing, Kim? Because
I think you're doing a lot.
Well, it's all the same thing. You're just hitting different groups.
Well, do you feel your day is full, or do you think you have more time?
My day is always full. But, most days I don't feel overwhelmed. There are times I do. It is balanced. As much as it looks like I'm doing a lot, and I'm a big component, especially now when people, for some reason, we all took a step back, Kim, and we're like, I don't have to travel, I don't have to do this. Then somehow us human beings figured out a way to clutter our day and even overwhelm ourselves again. And so I'm telling people, whoa, take a step back. Think about what you really need to do today. Think about why you need to do it, and think about what you need, because every single day I take time to meditate, to journal, to work out, and hang out with my friends or family. Wow. I really do.
And on top of that, you work.
I work, but okay. So here's the big thing. If I get nothing in, this is the huge thing. Besides, write it down. It only takes you 1 to 3 minutes. There's a difference between creating and problem solving. So every time throughout your day, when you start feeling overwhelmed and anxious, right? I do this all the time. Take a step back, breathe. It's really important. Just start breathing and ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Do I really need to be doing this? And am I coming from fear or am I coming from love? Because in the love, that's when the creating happens. And that doesn't mean you're working 18 hours. When you're creating, man, you're on fire. It could come to you within an hour. Now, I'm not saying there aren't nights you might not stay up all night, but you're still in the creation mode. When you're coming up, I have a problem, that's fear-based mode. And that's when you spin your wheel. So ask yourself, like I said, take a step back. When you start feeling overwhelmed and anxious, and say, wait a minute, am I really creating or am I solving a problem? And that's a whole different mindset. And just for me, I get up and I dance a little bit. So I do happy dance. I love me. I put Meghan Trainor. I do my dancing, but just breathing. Like in my book, there's all these 1-minute meditations. If you just breathe, deep breath in 4 counts, hold your breath, deep breath out for a minute. For 1 minute, it'll make a huge difference. And then regroup. Because I think a lot of people right now I talk to are overwhelmed, anxious, every age group. That's why I'm doing the kids show. It doesn't matter what age, we all are feeling it. And then the parents feel it, the kids feel it, everybody's feeling it. And I'm here to say, okay, I get it. There's a lot going on, but there's stuff you can do every single day that doesn't take that long. And that's why I say breathing, just taking a few minutes to clear your head or write it down. That's why I love the journaling. Or ask yourself, how do I want to show up in the world? I didn't mention this at the beginning and I should have. One of the big component of the book is things that I've been inspired since I've been a child that saved my life, because I came from a Well, very trying childhood, but I would move. I would dance every day, just move. Mm-hmm. I would journal. I would write. And I would focus in on a word, just one word. And that got me through so much, just every day saying, how do I want to show up in the world? Does it want to be joy? Does it want to be peace, inspiration, passion? It wasn't a big, hairy deal. What was the one word I was going to focus in on? And just moving. And it doesn't have to be dance. It could be anything, just moving to release it. And I would write. Now, I didn't have this journal, but I had no idea these three things would be such a huge component of my life. And until recently, because by the way, I was 70,000 words short for my first book. I did not know that. And they said, oh, in the contract, it says you have to have this many words. And I said, oh, I was trying to make it user-friendly and easy for people to follow. And they're like, but this is the kind of book we do. And something hit me. And I said, I know what it is. I have to tell my story. And it's a very short part of the beginning of the book. But it was a thing that people liked the most, because even close friends and family had no idea of my life. They just came up with great parents, well-balanced, money, you name it. And I did grow up in the projects, humble beginnings, but most of my life, my mother must have spent at least 50% of the time in mental institutions. And so I had to see beyond what was right in front of me and say, I'm going over there, and how am I getting there? Now, I had a strong faith. There was something big in the universe out there. And I just, no matter what people would say to me, I would say, no, you don't get it. I got 5 angels. I know I'm meant to go there. And I would move, write, and focus in on a word every single day.
That's
every
awesome.
single day of my life.
Those coping skills, because a lot of people don't. So that's amazing.
Well, and as a kid, I mean, I'm grateful. Like, I don't know, it's divine intervention that I was able to see beyond what was right in front of me. But what I learned is, yes, it's great if people meditate for 45 minutes an hour. Yes, it's great if you work out for an hour. And yes, it's great that you could sit up on the mountain away from people. And some people go to retreats for days and weeks. But it doesn't have to be that way. It's those little seeds you plant every single day. Think what a tree freaking comes out of. Like one little thing, and boom. I mean, just planting those seeds every day, a little bit, every single day. That's why I say to people when they say I don't have time, take 30 seconds in the morning and just breathe and think about how you want to show up in the world. Think about your game plan and your power statement in the shower, when you go to the bathroom. Don't try to complicate it. Like for moving, there's simple things, doing push-ups, squats, lunges, anything, that's just going to get you moving for a few minutes every day. I'm telling you, it will have a huge impact. Huge.
Okay. So you had some bookstores that you wanted to recommend that you shop at, some indie bookstores.
Oh, yeah. I love Town Center Books, which is in Collegeville. I'm not sure if they have their wine bar open now, but I think they do. It's a great place. I love the people there, and I've done presentations there. And then Main Point Books in Wayne is great. Awesome. Love those people.
In the comments. So we have Sandy's books in stock. We would love you to support us and buy it from us. But if we aren't your independent bookstore, go out and find your independent bookstore and support them. But also, you could buy it from us. It's available on our website.
Buy it for them.
And we have them in stock. Sandy, thank you so much for doing this. Do you have any words of wisdom that you want to send us on our way with?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. This is the big thing I want to tell you. Whenever you just feel out of sorts, just remember you are loved beyond what you can even imagine. And any little thing you do every single day to inspire yourself with somebody else, one little smile can change the world. Just one little smile.
There we go. You are loved. We love our customers, that's for sure.
I love bookstores.
Yeah, bookstores love you.
Yeah.
Sandy, you are loved.
Yay!
All right, guys. Thank you for doing this again, Sandy. You should check out her website. If you find any kindred spirit, like if you felt like her, I'm stumbling over my words. If you feel like what you heard was something you want to hear more of, then you should go to Sandy's website and check out her hey Terrace, and check out her podcasts and her workshops, and just her. You should just go check her out on her website. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Bye. Thank you.